Hello there, fellow peasants. Today we are going to be ranking all of the Halloween films in the franchise. I went and saw Halloween Ends this weekend. I did some reviews for that. Go check those out. I have a non-spoiler review, a spoiler review, and I did an out-of-theater reaction. So go check out those videos in your spare time. So let's get into it. I'm going to rank all 13 Halloween films from worst to best, in my opinion. This is my list. If your list is different, that's fine. Go down in the comments below and tell me your list. It might be like mine. It might be completely different. Everyone has different lists. So, all right, let's get into it. Number 13 on my list is Halloween 2, 2009, the Rob Zombie movie. I watched this movie one time. It was a complete shit show. The White Horse, bullcrap, visions of Michael's mom, just an excuse for Rob Zombie to put his wife back into the movie because she has to be in every movie for some reason. The mask. The mask. Michael's mask in this. Just some ripped up, looked like a dog got a hold of it. Nasty ass mask. The acting's horrible. The only thing redeemable about Halloween 2, 2009, is the opening sequence in the rain. That's shot really well. There's good tension there. Sadly, that's all a dream sequence. So, yeah. Horrible movie. Horrible. Number 12. Halloween Resurrection. Yes, it's not at the bottom of my list. It's at the bottom of a lot of people's lists, but it's not at the bottom of my list. Resurrection is very hard to sit through. It's very dated. It's all about the internet and webcams and found footage, stuff that the Blair Witch really kicked off. And, back when the internet was kind of a new thing and broadcasting live was a huge deal. So this movie really took advantage of that trend. The director of this, Rick Rosenthal, who also did 1981's Halloween 2, you would think with someone like him directing this, it would have been a better film, but it wasn't. It's dog shit. You've got Busta Rhymes karate chopping and kicking Michael. Trick or treat, motherfucker! And then him talking shit to Michael. Dangertainment. Just all this cheesy crap. The kills don't matter. The storyline's horrible. The only reason this is not even at the bottom is because, to keep it real, the Resurrection mask ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. Alright, so number 11 is Halloween's 2007. This is Rob Zombie's original remake of Halloween 78. So Rob Zombie's Halloween. How do I feel about it? Well, obviously it's number 11 on my list, so it's not, I don't feel too good about it. I could do without the first hour of this movie. I don't need to see Michael growing up. That's all dog shit. I don't care about that. A lot of people have issues with the dialogue and the profanity in the opening scene and showing Michael having some white trash upbringing. I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. I just don't want to see any explanation for Michael. I don't need to know he lived a trashy-ass life, and that's why he's got anger issues and he wants to kill people. The back half of the movie, though, is a little bit better. It's basically the story of 78, but a little more modern. Things are changed up. The mask is really good. The mask is good in this film. And that's kind of the saving grace of Rob Zombie's Halloween, for me, is the mask is good, and the cinematography in his films is always good. There's always good cinematography. Number 10 is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I really like this movie. I know it's low on the list, but that's because it does not have Michael or Laurie Strode in it. And it's completely different, has no ties whatsoever to the rest of the franchise. But I do like the movie. I think it's very entertaining. I think the premise is a little underserved. I think the idea they have there didn't match the budget they had. I think with a bigger budget, they could have done more with this. I just felt like they had a really big idea, but not the means to show off that idea. And I kind of, I know what that's like, kind of, because I make cheap-ass horror films myself. And sometimes I have a really big idea, but then I'm like, oh, shit, I only have $200 to make this movie. So I have to take that idea and maybe break it down to, like, a smaller just situation rather than the whole scale of the idea. I'm like, okay, well, let's take this one situation and make the movie about that. So that's kind of what this movie did. They have this idea on this grand scale. They're killing all the children of the world on Halloween, but it doesn't feel that all-encompassing. So yeah, that's my number 10. Number 9 is Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. I like this movie. It's good to look at. I like the cinematography in the film. I really, really love the fall/Halloween small town atmosphere. The mask in this film is also not too bad. The kills in this are not too bad. It's just the storyline's horrible. Doesn't make any sense. You have the Cult of Thorn in this. You've got Michael's baby in this. You got the cult controlling Michael. It's just a lot of extra BS. But looking at it, it looks good. And it's the last film with Dr. Loomis. So that gives it a bit of a notch up my ranking ladder. But yeah, guys, so that is my number 9. That's Halloween 6. Number 8 is Halloween H2O. This was kind of my introduction to the Halloween franchise growing up. So when H2O came out, I was 12 years old. And so I didn't have any previous experience with the Halloween franchise until H2O. And so I saw that film. I thought it was really cool at the time. It was hip. It was similar to the I Know What You Did Last Summers and Screams, which, makes sense because they all had similar writers. The writer from Scream, I can't ever remember his name. Anyway, it just had a good 90s hip edge to it. But it falls far down on the list because the masks, they use multiple masks in this. Even a CGI mask is horrible. All the masks are horrible in this movie. It's not set in Haddonfield, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's not set in a location that has leaves changing and fall atmosphere. And I think that's the movie's biggest sin, is that it takes place in Southern California, where it's sunny, it's tropical. And I know Halloween 78 takes place in Pasadena, or it's shot in Pasadena, California, but they at least took the time to go to an area that somewhat resembled the Midwest. But H2O just feels like you're in Southern California. There's no creepy Halloween atmosphere at all. And so that's its biggest sin. All right, guys. Number 7 is Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is... If you would have asked me last year when I watched Halloween Kills, it would have been higher on this ranking. But every time I watch it, I like it less and less and less. And the only reason this movie, well, there's a few reasons. The reasons why this movie is not at the ass end of this list with Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is because the few moments in Halloween Kills with Michael that are badass. And that's the firefighter scene, the scene with Lindsay stalking her through the woods, the scene with Michael trying the knives in the guy's back as, you know, the guy's wife watches with the hole in her neck. And the end scene with the end fight scene with the town where Michael fucks everybody up. If it wasn't for those 3 to 4 moments in this movie, it'd be number 13 or 12, probably. Because if you remove those moments, this movie is right up there with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 in terms of bad. So that's all I have to say about that. If you want to hear me bitch more about Halloween Kills, I have a whole review about that. Number 6 on my list is Halloween Ends. Yeah, that's right. I like Halloween Ends more than Kills, more than number 6, more than number 3, more than number 7, more than number... Yeah. I like Halloween Ends more than... Well, it's number 6. I like it more than the back half of the damn list. And some people are going to be like, oh my god, how do you... I'll briefly explain. You can go to my other videos. I just posted reviews and my thoughts on the movie, so I'm not going to go into depth. But the reason I like Halloween Ends, and it earned the 6th spot on my list, yes, it fails as a Halloween film. Yes, it fails as a Halloween film in terms of the amount of Michael and Laurie in the film, but it succeeds as a Halloween film by taking another story, another event that's happened in Haddonfield, in that same world, and tied it into the existing story that we already know, without rehashing the same Michael walking around cutting people up for an hour and a half that we see in the last how many films. So I do like that they took some chances with this. I do like that they showed us a new story and merged it with the story we do have. It kind of expands Haddonfield. It helped to show what's going on in the town, I think. Shows the town's mentality after what happened in 2018 in Kills. How they treat Corey is kind of like the mind state of the trauma they're going through or whatever. Number 5 is Halloween 5, The Return of Michael Myers. Or The Revenge of Michael Myers. So Halloween 5 gets a lot of shit. Halloween 5 is usually at the bottom of the list for a lot of people. But Halloween 5 is number 5 for me. What do I like? Why is Halloween 5 so high? Well, I do kind of like the mask. It kind of looks like Nicolas Cage a little bit. But I don't mind the mask too much in this. This movie does have Danielle Harris, she's fairly interesting in this movie. She's mute for like most of the movie. But it's still somewhat entertaining to see her in the film. But the main reason I like Halloween 5 is like the fall harvest atmosphere. You've got, the pumpkin at the beginning. That's, the opening credits show it getting cut and dashed and slashed up, and that's really cool. The party towards the end of the film where they're in the barn and there's pitchforks. I like the cinematography in the film. I understand the Myers house is a complete piece of dog shit in this film. It looks nothing like the Myers house. It's like a 4-story Victorian home that looks nothing like the Myers house. I understand that. But there's something about Halloween 5 that I like. It's entertaining. I don't know what to say. It's entertaining to me. Yeah, there's things I don't like. I don't like the Myers house. I don't like that he sheds a tear like a little bitch later in the movie. I don't like Tina, really. You know what I mean? But it nails that small town Midwestern fall time vibe, and it's got decent kills in it. So yeah, that's why it lands at my number 5. Haters gonna hate. My number 4 on the list is Halloween 4. Why do I like Halloween 4? I like Halloween 4 because it has, once again, great Midwest atmosphere, great opening scene with the harvest fall vibe. You've got the farm, you got the tractors and the pumpkins, and, you know, that looks really cool. You got the relationship between Rachel and Jamie. You've got the cops are more involved in this. The town gets in on it at the end. The story is good. The kills are good. It feels similar in tone to the first 2 Halloweens. Cinematography and the lighting, the blue light at night, very similar to the first 2 films in the franchise. And so I think it deserves a higher spot on the ranking. I don't think a lot of you would disagree that number 4 deserves to at least crack top 5 in this franchise. All right, guys. Number 3 is Halloween 2, 1981. Yeah, I might get shit for this from a lot of people, but it's number 3. The reason I like Halloween 2, 1981 is because it's a direct continuation of 1978. They did a really great job at that. I love the cinematography. It's very similar to Dean Cundey's cinematography from the first film. They did a great job of continuing the look and aesthetic of the first film. It really feels like it's a continuation of that night. I like the kills in this. They up the ante with the gore. Michael's just a little more psychopathic. You know, where he drowns the chick in the tub, the therapy tub. I also like the needle in the eye kill. There's something creepy. There's just something creepy about hospitals, abandoned, creepy, lonely, nighttime hospitals. So yeah, Halloween 2, 1981. That is my number 3. My number 2 on the list is Halloween 2018. Now, some people will go, what the fuck? How was 2018 your second in the franchise? Because I think that it genuinely is a better sequel than Halloween 2. I can see why. I can see why people... I just explained why. I do feel like it's a good continuation from number 2. And 1981 would be in the number 2 spot. But here's why it's not and 2018 is. 2018 removed the sibling aspect. And Laurie is more interesting in 2018 as opposed to 1981. So I prefer, after I watch 78, to watch 2018. As much as I like 1981 Halloween 2, I don't like the sibling aspect at the end. And I think Laurie could have been better utilized, and she's just kind of boring throughout that movie. And Halloween 2018 just has great cinematography. I mean, it's one of the best looking Halloweens. The mask, they nailed it. They nailed the fucking mask in that movie. And yes, I understand 1981's mask is the exact same Shatner mask used in 78. But Dick Warlock's face makes it look all fat as fuck and nasty looking, and so I understand. My number 1 in the movie, my number 1 in the franchise is Halloween 1978, the OG, original, real motherfucking deal. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I told you earlier, I grew up with the Halloween H2O. That was my introduction to the franchise. So years later, when I decided to sit down and watch the original Halloween, I sat there and I watched it and I thought, this is really fucking boring. But it grew on me over the years as my, understanding of film got better. I started to appreciate camera work more, storylines more. You got to remember, guys, when I watched H2O and 78 for the first time, and I was still in the movie period in my life where all I cared about was like over-the-top gore, over-the-top kills. I was expecting something on the level of Scream, something, just hardcore slashers. And 78 is, it's an outdated movie. It's more of a thriller, more of a suspense, slow burn that gives you like a little bit of horror at the end. And so, once I learned to appreciate older horror films from that decade, I started to appreciate Halloween more. Halloween's strong suits, the first film is, well, one, the introduction of Michael Myers. Genius, original idea. Obviously, it spawned 12 sequels, so John Carpenter and Deborah Hill did something right to get that. But, so Michael Myers is one strong suit of this film. Number two is just Dean Cundey's cinematography. I really think, say what you want to say, but I don't know if this film would have been half as successful as it was if it wasn't for the amazing cinematography of Dean Cundey. Camera angles can make or break a film. Camera angles and lighting can make or break a film. You can have a great story. You can have great dialogue. But if the movie looks like shit, people might think it is shit. Especially with their budget. They had, with their low budget of $300,000, they made what looked like a couple $1 million movie. And it looked like that because of the panoramic lenses, the anamorphic lenses, and all that that they used, and it gave it a bigger feel than it really had, and made it feel more expensive than it did. It made it feel more authentic and like a real movie, So yeah, that's my ranking, guys. Go in the comments below. Tell me your ranking. It might not look like mine. Don't go in the comments talking shit about mine. I won't be talking shit about yours. So just, if you can, click like and subscribe. Go down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Show me your list. And other than that, guys, have a good night. Peace out.